What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I'm doing the last video. I already released the Mayweather Maidana, hell of a fight. I did my post fight on that. Amir Khan, Luis Collazo. Khan looked pretty. He controlled the fight for the most part. Now I got to talk about this clown ass Broner. Now, at first they're like, "Oh, kid from Cincinnati, Ohio," and I liked what I was seeing in the ring when he was fighting like the Eloy Perez's. He was doing a little bit of rapping and like dancing in the ring, and it wasn't too much. But since the Eloy Perez days, I've seen Adrien Broner evolve into a fucking clown. Like, I mean, I can't even support or back this dude. Like, it's like I hope he gets dropped and knocked out in his next fight. And I'm not a hater. It takes a lot for me to feel a certain way, but I feel he's disrespectful to the sport. He disrespects his opponents, and I mean, boxing doesn't really need that. So if you watch the Carlos Molina fight, first of all, I wasn't even impressed with his performance. He won. I would have scored him winning as well. He didn't stop Carlos Molina. Carlos Molina is tough with the chin. Amir Khan had a better performance against Carlos Molina and at least was looking pretty good against Carlos Molina. The problem is Carlos Molina, he's kind of slippery. He just doesn't have that pop. He doesn't have that authority with his punches to gain the respect of the fighters at 140. He couldn't even do that at 135. He wasn't really sparking people at 135. So him moving up in weight, it's not right. So this was a tune-up fight and a confidence builder for Adrien Broner after a terrible loss to Marcos Maidana, who just gave a valiant performance against Floyd Mayweather. Um, Adrien Broner, he just, like I said, I just can't respect him. First of all, he just acts too coonish, like with the post fight and like anybody can get it. I just fucked up a Mexican. Like, first of all, you didn't even really fuck him up. What'd you do? You know what I mean? You had a light puncher. You're supposed to, like, the thing people don't realize with boxing, I'm a fair critic, and like with boxing, there's guys like Gennady Golovkin. Truth be told, I like him. He's a hell of a fighter. I think he has a high ceiling. There's a lot he can do in the middleweight division, and I like his skill set and his power. He's an exciting, entertaining fighter. However, he hasn't really fought the top middleweights for whatever reason. They're ducking him, or the fight can't be made. That he wasn't ready. Whatever the reason is, he hasn't. But the people who are coming up from 54 and they're coming to middleweight to fight him can't see him. They can't deal with him, and that's the way Gennady Golovkin is disposing of people. And he did fight. He has some credible middleweights like Curtis Stevens and Macklin. But I'm talking about kind of like the Gabe Rosados and Adama. He's a middleweight, but just more or less the Gabe Rosados and the Ishidas, people who are career 154 pounders. Look how the fuck he gets them out of there. He lets them know that there's weight divisions for a reason. You're not in my weight division, or you're not on my level, and he disposes of them, and he does it in extraordinary fashion. Whereas you had Broner, who's in a tune-up confidence builder fight, and there's no knockdowns. He didn't look spectacular. Like, I don't know. I guess Broner like fooled everybody or fooled me because I was thinking he was a little bit better than what he actually is. I never rated him and said he was the next Mayweather and all that bullshit, but he just not the goods. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. His power looked good at 130, 135. When I've seen him fight at 147, it doesn't look like his speed or power has really carried up. His fight now at 140 against Carlos Molina, and I understand you can't knock everybody out. Carlos Molina's game, he's tough, he's rugged or whatever, but I mean, you didn't even really hurt him. You didn't look that good in the fight. And then Adrien Broner talks this like, I'm still young, fly fashy, and all this shit, and calling out Pacquiao. I told you guys already, Pacquiao will murder Broner. And the same thing with Lucas Matthysse. If that fight is made at 140, Lucas Matthysse and Broner anytime in the near future, unless something crazy happens, Lucas Matthysse loses an arm or gets knocked out bad in his next fight or something. But let's say for the next fight they have Adrien Broner versus Lucas Matthysse at 140. Broner will get fucking annihilated because one, he's on some clown shit. That's one thing. You can't disrespect the sport of boxing. You just watch John Molina and Lucas Matthysse. They were going at it. The motherfuckers were cracking. They were fighting. They went out on their shield. They put it all on the line. Lucas Matthysse, he battled adversity. John Molina looked big as shit at 140, and he can crack. His right was landing. He had Lucas Matthysse in trouble. The second knockdown was kind of suspect, but he had one good clean knockdown that can't be disputed, and they both looked good, and they were willing to again go out on their shield for their performance and put it out there. And you got a guy like Broner who just disrespects the sport, and he's still getting touched. Like I said, Carlos Molina just didn't have the power to hurt him, but I still see him getting caught with the same fucking punches that Marcos Maidana was nailing him with. And his defense doesn't look that good. He's still more stationary and flat-footed, backing straight up. It's just Lucas Matthysse will bulldoze him, in my opinion. And Carlos Molina just doesn't have the power to do that. But Carlos Molina was catching him. His defense has so many holes in it. Like I said, I seen literally the same punches Maidana was catching him with. I seen Carlos Molina catch him with. The difference being Maidana is a big puncher, and this was at 147. So I wasn't impressed with Broner at all before the fight, during the fight, or after the fight. I think really he gets these, like, he doesn't even want to go back up to welterweight. He'd have to prove a whole hell of a lot more. I don't see him beating really anybody. I don't see him beating Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter and Keith Thurman will exterminate him. Amir Khan, I don't see him beating Amir Khan because, and I'm not hating, I'm just being real. I'm being real as fuck. I don't see him beating Amir Khan. You could say glass chin or whatever, but Khan has heart. Broner has heart. He showed heart in the Maidana fight, but Khan cares less about trying to be cool and look cool. When it comes time to fight, you can downgrade Khan and say he has a glass chin or whatever bullshit you want, but he comes to fight. He battles adversity, and he's willing, and he doesn't care about trying to be cool. And Broner's just doing stupid shit. In the Carlos Molina fight, he did that butt fucking shit, and he got behind him, and just these stupid ass interviews. He wants to be like a world star famous person. It doesn't sound like he wants to be a true boxing or go down in the history books. And it's disappointing because when he was fighting guys like Jason Litzau and, like I said, the Eloy Perez, I thought he was actually something. I just don't think he uses his skill to the best possible way. He cares more about a highlight reel. You got to put punches together. Again, a guy like Amir Khan, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He has a good volume of punches, even with Virgil Hunter. And Broner's so economical. Like when he was letting his hands go against Carlos Molina, he was effective. He looked good, but he's a notorious slow starter. He wasn't letting his hands go. I just don't see him beating any of the top dogs. He might as well drop down to 135 again, try to fight Terrence Crawford or somebody like that. That's a good fight. But really, I mean, even Gamboa, at one point I was like, okay, Broner could beat Gamboa. But honestly, I'm at the point, not even just because he's doing dumb shit and saying dumb shit. I just am not impressed. I'm not impressed to the point where I'm like, okay, Broner could definitely beat Lucas Matthysse. I think Lucas will just run through him because Lucas has a chin. He got that fucking crazy power, and he's a good boxer puncher. And the other thing, he doesn't care. He wants to win the fight. He doesn't care about butt fucking and trying to be funny and Harlem shaking and dancing and all that. He just doesn't. And the shots that I was seeing, Carlos Molina, a light puncher, which I told you, hit him with. If Lucas hit him with some of them punches, like, it's lights out. I just don't see it. So out of everybody, I was probably least impressed with his performance. And Jay Leon Love and really all the money teams seem suspect too. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to clown because I've dealt with some of the money team and stuff before in interviews. But at least Jay Leon Love in his performance, at the very fucking least, he battled adversity. And he looked like he had the heart, and he wasn't doing this showboat clown shit. Like Roy Jones, okay, he used to showboat, but he would dominate too, so you couldn't really say shit. So if he's showboating, you can't really complain because he's dominating fighters. Whereas Broner, he's talking more than he's impressing. You know what I mean? He's making it like, oh, I just beat the fuck out of a Mexican. Like, no, you didn't. You you did enough to win. You didn't look great in doing it. Let me know what you guys think of Broner. Leave a comment. I'm done. I feel like I'm wasting my fucking life talking about this dude. He just seems like a basket case. Anyway, as always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next videos, Ego signing off.